lovely to see you. How are you doing,
too.
my friend?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm really good, and I can't wait to get chatting with you. I know we've got lots of lovely people on here that love you.
I love them all too.
We want to get into it with you. So first of all, as you are my guest, you have a little introduction. So here we go. My lovely guest today is a ray of sunshine. Hence, here comes the sun from the Beatles. She is also a second-generation event producer of Bob Gail Events, a boutique, full-service event planning company in Los Angeles that has been in business for 40 years. Allyson is the daughter of longtime pillars and innovators in the industry, Bob and Gail Levine. She has a master's degree in communication from New York University, and she has worked with renowned restaurateur Danny Meyer and studied food and wine with the James Beard Foundation in Italy. Fluent in 4 languages, she has been planning exquisite events for 19 years, and I'm thrilled that this darling of the events industry is with me today. Please welcome the ray of sunshine that is Miss Allyson Joseph.
Thank you. I love
You're
this
welcome.
song.
I just thought it was perfect for you because you are like this ray of sunshine. Everybody loves you.
Thank you. You know what's funny? All of my children are born to that song.
Are you kidding me?
No,
Oh
that's
my
what we
God.
asked for when we had the babies.
That is so weird. Oh, you know, I do have this really spooky thing that happens sometimes. So that's really weird that I channeled in on that.
That's amazing.
Wow. Oh, that's made me go all goosey. How have you been during COVID? I know it's been rough for all of us, but you know, it's been over a year since I've seen you. How have you been doing?
I know. I'm used to seeing you at least once a week at our lovely industry parties, but not so much in the last year. I keep like referencing events like, oh, last year that happened, and now I have to, it's 2 years ago. It's crazy. Like our last full-fledged season. We're good. You know, we have been really lucky to have some of our really great long-term clients that we've been doing some really lovely little things for. We did one yesterday.
Yes, that was so beautiful. It was on the beach. Where did you do it? It
was. Our clients live in Malibu on the beach, and so we just did a little setup. It was a second child of a long-term family that we've been working with, and it was her 18th birthday, but we did her bat mitzvah and her sister's bat mitzvah and her brother's and her mom's 40th birthday and all that stuff. And so it was really nice, like to just have, it was 9 people, pretty much family, and we just set up a really pretty little party on the beach, and it was really nice. But yeah, just in front of their house in Malibu.
Oh, so lovely. Isn't that gorgeous? Because the company's been in business 40 years. Your mom and dad started it when you were a kid, and you're now the creative director and have taken it on. To have clients that go back that far, there's something really special about that, isn't it?
It's so fulfilling. And sometimes we'll have clients pull out their wedding albums and open to the band, and my parents are on the stage, and it's very, very moving to be able to see that full circle.
That's so lovely. So did your mom and dad, did they perform with the bands?
That's how they started. So my parents were band leaders in New York, and they moved here in 1978 and drove across country and did gigs along the way. And then when they moved here, they opened a music school actually and did events and built up their business that way. And then sort of it took on a life of its own, and they really expanded quite quickly. And then the design and production side was added in 1997. And they have since retired. My dad is actually back to teaching guitar for his retirement project. Yeah. And he's so busy. It's amazing. He's like, oh, I have a class at this time and this time. And he's doing it all on Zoom right now. But it's really nice to see it all come together full circle.
Oh, how beautiful. And is your mom a singer?
She was, yeah. I mean, she is, of course. But yeah, she would sing and play guitar also too, but mostly sing. And then my dad would play guitar, and he also has a beautiful singing voice. So.
Oh, how lovely. Did you ever have aspirations to do that when you were a child? No.
No. My brother, 2 of my brothers, of course, they run the music side now, and they're band leaders themselves. I am a behind the scenes person, and I used to do musicals and plays as a kid, and I had a lot of fun doing it then, but at a certain point I just felt more like a behind the scenes person, less an in front of the scenes person, and much to my mom's chagrin. And so yeah, I just sort of abandoned that side and felt much more comfortable in the production end.
Oh, that's lovely. So I love that within Bob Gail, you have so many different segments to it. Right. You have a section with all the bands.
Right. Amazing. And then, and that is the oldest part of our business. And for years, we don't have this part anymore, but for years we had the full production studio and warehouse and all those props and
you got rid of all the props.
We
Yeah.
did, yeah. It was really my dad's baby, and when he retired, it just wasn't something we were passionate about. So
Oh,
when we moved forward, we contacted all of the studios that we work with, brought up the props that we worked on, that we owned.
and then they bought them from you. Yes, because I was looking for some props or something a while ago, and I always go to your website because
Oh,
you always
thank
had some
you.
really different things on there, and I was like, where did they go?
I know, I know. I can always tell you where we know we have a log of where everything went. So if you're looking for something, I'll
Oh,
tell you where it
good.
is.
Okay,
Yeah,
fantastic. Good.
yeah.
I love that. So when you were growing up in New York and you got your master's, which is fantastic, and 4 languages, what did you learn? What can you speak?
So I grew up here in LA, and I started languages honestly, like out of necessity. I learned Spanish in school, and I hired a tutor because I was falling behind, quite honestly. We didn't have a great program growing up, and I loved it so much and took to it that I became fluent in Spanish in 6 months, and then realized I had to do more. And
Yeah.
so studied Spanish and then French in high school. And then I went to WashU in St. Louis for undergraduate and made my own major there, which is Romance languages and literature. And so Spanish, French, and Italian and English. And then
That
New York, I went to for my master's, and I actually studied abroad twice there in France and Italy.
Oh, how beautiful. Now, that was when you started with James Beard for Food and Wine. Is that
Yeah,
right, in
yeah,
Italy?
it is.
What was that like? That must have been so incredible. And how great to have that with your background now, doing
Oh,
events and
yeah.
menus and
Yes. And I had already been working in the events field when I decided to get my master's. And I just, my mom's philosophy always growing up was like, study what you're interested in and the rest will follow. And this program appeared and it just looked so interesting. I can't believe they gave credit for that for school. But it was amazing. And we went out all through Italy, north all the way to the south, and learned all about food in every region. And it
oh,
was just this epic experience, you know, on a cliff, eating in the side of a mountain, and like monks making the food, and in Parma, and seeing where like rows and rows and rows of Parmigiano Reggiano, like beautiful experience altogether. You know, seeing where bees make their honey, and it was incredible,
oh,
incredible.
what an experience. How
It
old were
was.
you when you did that?
22, maybe
Oh,
21, 22.
amazing. Was
Great
that
time
like,
to be there.
oh, it's a
Yeah.
perfect time.
Yeah.
Like, were you there for like 3 months?
4 months, yep. And then I
Wow.
went on to Spain after that, just to travel and try to, you know, see the other
Yeah,
parts of the
of
world that I hadn't
course,
been
when
to
you're
yet.
in Europe. And then in France, did you study with, who did you study with in France, or was that just part of the trip?
So that was a separate semester. My first semester of graduate school was actually in Paris and through an American University in Paris. And that's actually where I honed my master's thesis, where I wrote about the wedding industry. But
Oh,
it was an ethnological project, just like hearing from different academics all throughout the world that would come in and lecture us, and then spend the time in Paris at American University in Paris through NYU.
I mean, I cannot even imagine how that must have been. I love Paris. It's one of the
Me
most
too.
favorite places in the world,
Yeah.
Paris and Italy.
We were supposed to go back in April.
Oh, this April or last April?
Last
This was
April.
good. Oh, can oh, I can't really go
Bummer.
this year either because the borders are closed.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know when Paris is back on my agenda, but hopefully soon.
Yeah, what a great training. Is that when you're doing events, is putting the menu together and pairing the wine, is that part of the wedding that you really love?
So I really believe weddings and all events are sensory
Yeah.
experiences, and it should sound the right way and look the right way and feel the right way and smell and taste the right way. And so we really hone in on the menus
Yeah.
and make it super personal to our clients. A few of our clients are on here. I bet they can share some of their fun menu ideas, but we
Yeah.
definitely
Love
work
that.
with them closely to put together beautiful menus that are very true to what their loves are.
I love that, don't you? When you find out exactly what they love and then you work, because we have so many amazing caterers and chefs in Los Angeles,
Absolutely.
and then working with them on the menu, getting it perfect and different. Yeah,
Yes.
it's
And
one of the most exciting things, I think, as well.
yeah, and
And
when I worked in the food industry in New York, and really got to hone that with chefs as well. So that was great.
yeah, so that was with Danny Meyer. How was that? Because I mean, he's a huge restaurateur in New York.
He's the kindest, most generous, intelligent person, and so true to his brand. And so that was one of the best learning experiences I could have ever had.
Which restaurant were you with him at?
I was in-house for his PR and marketing team. So Union Square Hospitality Group manages all of the restaurants. And so he runs an in-house team, and I was part of that.
Oh, incredible. I remember going to the Gramercy Tavern when I lived in New York.
Good.
Just
so good.
To have Danny Meyer and James Baird Foundation as your background. I mean, that's like every event planner's dream to have that kind of background.
I got lucky.
No, it's good. It set you up for this amazing career that you have right now. It really has. Sets you apart, I think, as well, because you offer so much experience in that area. Was there anything else in life that you ever wanted to do, or has it always been hospitality?
Always hospitality. I think you're born with this crazy need.
Servant heart.
Yeah. I always say it's like a genetic mutation.
Yeah.
And Danny calls it a hospitality quotient. You either have it or you don't. I definitely have that. And so I honestly, way earlier than was actually appropriate, I was working events and just always loved it. Working in the food industry was just to fill my cup, and that need for widening the things that I loved and was interested in. And I knew that I wanted to be able to incorporate that into my career as an event producer.
I mean, lovely Tanya from the Riviera Country Club is saying clients are always super happy when Bob Gail is involved.
Oh, thanks, Tanya. I love
you, Tanya. We'll give her a lovely shout out. Gorgeous Riviera Country Club in the Pacific Palisades. I know it's a lovely location that we would love to work up. One of the best. Yes, she is. That's absolutely right. So did you used to go to all the events with your mum and dad and sit and watch them perform and take it all in?
When my first event was for, it was a kids party for a royal family, and I really wanted to help. And so I was 8 years old and turned in a worker's permit to my parents that I got at school. And my first job was me full regalia, dressed as Alice in Wonderland, sitting on a mushroom. Oh. My parents built out the entire space to be this dream world for Alice in Wonderland for this little girl. And after that, I sort of just got the bug and kept going and going. And I begged them to take me to everything. And so I dressed up, for whatever holiday parties, or would put stickers on bags and remember chair covers? That was a big deal then. So I just put chair covers on. And I remember, I have children and I nurse my babies in the, break room setting up events. And I'm I was definitely in here eating probably as a baby too. So it's just a funny thing. I remember break rooms. My parents, the 90s were big production, a lot of, theatrics from the entertainment side. And they were really spearheading a lot of that. And so I would just sit in the break room and help change the dancers and all that good stuff. So
oh my God, it's super. It is. It's like putting on a show, isn't it?
Yeah,
it really is.
Totally.
Putting on a wedding is putting on a show. Do you feel like the theatrics kind of went away for a bit and then it came back?
I definitely think early or mid 2000s, people were much more minimalistic in their entertainment choices. And now people are definitely, I think a lot of the trends, the, mason jars and all that jazz, that was very much a product of the recession, and interesting to see transform our industry and to a very different style, which actually I think has given us some great design ideas, not necessarily the mason jars, but some of the floral approaches and things like that, not just a giant ball of flowers on a candelabra anymore, but
it got more loosey-goosey, didn't it? It got more romantic and as if you'd gone into the garden and picked them yourself kind of
look. Totally. And I think that's a great product of the recession. I think that's really changed the trajectory of our industry for the better. And so, but I do think that people are more into big entertainment and more so we'll do, big bands for events and create sort of a 1930s, 1920s vibe. There's a lot of really fun ways to approach entertainment that don't feel gaudy or trite.
Yes, I think it comes from a place of what music they really love, and they get the right band for them that represents them. Yeah, it's the most fun thing for me is looking for bands. I'm looking for them right now for a wedding in Georgia, and it's really super fun because I don't know any bands out there. Trying to research them and I
have a great band in Nashville. I'll send you their info.
Oh, do you? Oh, please,
they're awesome.
Yeah, no, I love that. Yeah, ones that will travel to Georgia will be amazing.
They will, totally.